What if I told you that beneath the endless ice of Antarctica, there might be a structure older than human civilization itself? A shape too perfect to be natural, a pyramid. Hidden in plain sight, captured not by explorers, but by satellites. Tonight, we descend into one of the most forbidden mysteries on Earth, the Antarctica Pyramid they tried to hide. In 2016, a routine scan of the Antarctic continent by satellite imagery revealed something that would send ripples through the scientific and conspiracy communities alike. Researchers analyzing the data noticed something strange, something that defied conventional geology. It was a perfect triangular mountain, rising sharply out of Antarctica's vast, desolate snowscape. This wasn't an irregular peak or a gently curved hill. Its sides were geometrically precise, forming three distinct, equal faces that converged at a single point. Scientists were stunned. They asked themselves, how could such perfect, symmetrical angles form naturally, especially in one of the most isolated and extreme environments on Earth? The geological processes we know, like erosion from wind and ice, tend to smooth and round mountains over millennia, not carve them into precise pyramids. Yet here it was, an anomaly staring back at them from the bottom of the world, challenging everything we thought we knew about the icy continent. The discovery immediately sparked a global debate, with some calling it a natural wonder and others suggesting it was evidence of something far more profound, something intentionally hidden. The mystery only deepens when you look at the structure's dimensions. It stands at an estimated height of over 2,000 meters. But it's not just its size that is so baffling. When you compare its slope and its orientation to the Great Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, the similarities are uncanny. It's almost as if it was built following the same architectural blueprint a world away. But here's where the puzzle becomes even more complex. Unlike the sun-scorched pyramids of Egypt, this Antarctic structure is covered in a thick, ancient layer of ice and snow. Yet, despite this massive frozen blanket, the sharp, clean angles remain clearly visible from space. This suggests that the shape underneath must be incredibly massive and defined, so much so that the ice and snow simply conform to its form without being able to obscure its fundamental geometry. Many geology experts have gone on record to state that no known natural mountain formation on Earth exhibits this level of precision. They argue that features like this, known as pyramidal peaks or horns, are typically much more jagged and irregular. So, if nature didn't create it, what did? The location of this pyramid adds another layer of intrigue and suspicion. The structure sits within the Ellsworth Mountains, a remote and largely unexplored range in Antarctica. This region is significant not just for its geological anomalies, but also because parts of it are designated as restricted zones. Access is heavily controlled. There are no tourists allowed, no independent expeditions, and only a very select few government-approved research teams are granted permission to enter. Even military and scientific flights are said to avoid certain coordinates in the area. This raises a critical question. Why does one of the most remote and seemingly empty regions on the entire planet need such stringent restricted zones? What is being protected or hidden in this vast, icy wilderness? The official explanations often cite environmental protection or scientific sensitivity, but for many, the secrecy surrounding this area, especially with the presence of a pyramid-like structure, points to a deliberate effort to keep something under wraps. To understand what this structure might be, some scientists have proposed a truly shocking possibility, one that would rewrite our understanding of ancient history. Antarctica wasn't always the frozen wasteland we know today. Scientific evidence, including ice core samples and geological surveys, shows that the continent once had a much warmer, temperate climate. As recently as 6,000 years ago, and even further back, millions of years ago, Antarctica was covered in lush forests, flowing rivers, and thriving ecosystems. If that's true, if this land was once habitable, then it begs the question, who or what lived there? And if a civilization did exist, why would they construct colossal pyramids at what was then the bottom of the world? This theory suggests we re-looking at the remnants of a world that existed before the last ice age, a lost chapter of Earth's history buried under miles of ice. The pyramid, in this view, isn't just a mountain, it's a monument from a forgotten time. Supporters of this ancient civilization theory point to a fascinating web of global clues. They note that megalithic structures all over the world, from Stonehenge to the pyramids of Giza, appear to be aligned on a global grid, often with precise mathematical and astronomical significance. Ancient cultures across continents, many of which supposedly had no contact with one another, all shared a deep reverence for the sky, the stars, and the power of sacred geometry. This is reflected in their architecture and their myths. From Bosnia and Mexico to China and Egypt, massive pyramids were built, and some researchers believe these ancient sites are energetically connected. Could the Antarctic Pyramid be the missing piece of this puzzle? Could it be the oldest and most important node in an ancient global network, a source of power or knowledge from a mother civilization that predates all others? Perhaps it is the origin point from which this knowledge spread across the globe before cataclysmic climate change buried it in ice. So, what has the official response been to these incredible satellite images? When NASA and other space agencies were first questioned about the pyramid, their public statements were cautiously dismissive. They acknowledged the shape was interesting, but concluded it was likely a natural geological formation, a natural peak carved by ice and wind. Case closed. But then they did something unusual. They went silent. There were no follow-up studies released to the public, no detailed geological explanations for its perfect symmetry, no further comments. Even more suspiciously, shortly after the images went viral, many of the high-resolution satellite photos of that exact area were quietly blurred, downgraded, or removed from public-facing tools like Google Earth. While some old images remain, finding a clear, up-to-date view has become increasingly difficult. This has led many to ask a simple, powerful question. If it was just a rock, why try to hide it? The act of obscuring the data only fueled speculation that there is something significant there that authorities do not want the public to see. This leaves us facing one of the biggest questions in human history. If the Antarctica Pyramid is real, if it is an artificial structure, and if it was built before the continent froze over, then everything we know about our past is incomplete. Our history books would be missing an entire chapter, perhaps the most important one. This chapter would tell the story of a powerful, technologically advanced civilization that may have risen and fallen long before our own recorded history began. A civilization whose last, greatest monument still stands, silent and frozen, beneath the endless Antarctic ice, waiting to be rediscovered. A testament to a world we have completely forgotten. So, after seeing the evidence, from the satellite images to the restricted zones and the missing history, what do you believe? Is it just a uniquely shaped mountain? Or is it the key to unlocking humanity's secret past? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.